been watching VHS movies since the first one's released on release date, and every time the next one comes out, I've been always watching it on release, and it's been kind of a tradition with me and my friends. And I didn't have high expectations for VHS Halloween. These VHS movies, even though I have a good time with them, no matter how bad they really are just hit or miss. Uh, unless it's viral, which is just complete shit. But every one of the other ones is maybe like a half good, half bad movie. It's kind of hard to make a completely good movie that's also an anthology. I mean, Trick or Treat. I'm just talking about horror here. Trick or Treat and Creep Show, very, very phenomenal movies. But other than those two, you can't really think of any off the top of your head that are that great that are also anthology movies. So VHS going on what its eighth release now, I believe, and finally doing a full blown Halloween movie, sort of like their little competition to Trick or Treat, which has been the go to Halloween movie probably every single year since its release. It is a cult classic. It is one of the best. It's like one of the most liked horror movies in the horror community. And VHS, I felt like they looked at it and they were like, we need some competition with this because our movies just are just not up to par with it. Does VHS Halloween live up to anything of Trick or Treat? I think so. This might be my favorite VHS movie ever. Um, it does have one glaring problem, which I'll get to towards the end of this review, but I think this might be my favorite VHS ever. I think the most recent releases have been like pretty mediocre, and the first two were actually not that bad, if I remember correctly. And then, of course, like I said, Viral is just absolute vile dog shit. It is really bad, but this is this is a huge hit for me. After Beyond, which came out last year, and Shudder taking over the VHS franchise, I didn't have much hope because the last one just wasn't that great. And when you're giving a higher budget, maybe you should do a bit more. And I don't think Halloween does that necessarily, but the movie's just so much better in like other aspects that I don't really think the budget affected it as much as it could have. I don't know. They don't have a official budget for this movie, but I'm pretty sure it's higher than all but maybe Beyond. I'll just go straight into Halloween though. Halloween does follow the same exact routine as the other VHS movies, where it has an interlude story going on between every single singular story. And in this one, it's a diet soda company that's filling up soda cans with ectoplasm, ghost ectoplasm, and I'm not really a fan of it. It was probably my least favorite anything of this movie. I think I liked it more than one of the segments, but one of the charms of the original VHS, and I think even VHS 2, if I remember correctly, was that the whole subplot of the movie was it's a person or people and they find these VHS tapes and they're looking through them. And I always thought that was so cool. And then I think after the second one, they just completely forgot to do that. And I think Beyond was like a documentary type movie. I might be mixing it up, but I don't know. I think VHS lost its kind of touch with the interludes, but I will say this is one of the better ones that doesn't follow the typical VHS route, which I think they should go back to. I think that was just perfect. And instead just make this subplot thing its own segment. I'm not sure, but every time the interlude came on, I thought it was pretty fucking fun. You saw so many different deaths from people getting sucked into cans, exploded, set on fire, their limbs, hair torn apart, and you got a lot of funny script with whoever played the main bad guy. I'm doing this immediately after I watched it, so I don't I don't remember or know the actors' names unfortunately, but whoever was the big boss guy at the factory, he was hilarious. Uh he was just pretty charismatic. I wish we got more out of the other few characters, but seeing the bigger good guy explode was pretty funny. So I'll give them that. And aside from that, interlude pretty okay. I do wish they just went back to the normal VHS route. People finding VHS tapes and them getting like built up to being murdered towards the end. I always appreciated that. As for the first segment of this movie, oh wow. Um, I'm just now realizing I'm gonna mix up every single one of these segments in order. Holy shit. Let me just pull it up really quick. The first segment being the one now is the main one in the trailer, Coochie Coochie Coo. Oh wow. Yeah, that's not fun to say out loud. The baby one. Um, I felt like had a lot to be desired. It could have been way better. Could have had way more. Obviously, these are all really short segments. It's not one long film, but I don't know. Coochie Coochie Coo had something there. I think the creepy old lady, the mommy, I think is what they called her. She was creepy as fuck. I wish we got more of her being creepy. Specifically the scene where you first see her, she sticks her arm out with a bowl of candy and says, "Come inside." I thought that was so sick, and she does a few scenes as the two girls are walking through the house, and she's peeking around corners and looking really creepy. Wish we got more of that and less of the chase scene stuff, even less of the girls. I thought the girls weren't that interesting of characters, but this really was not a bad segment. I like the big fat baby man. I thought he was funny as fuck. I wish we didn't see him in the trailer because seeing him as a jump scare would have been way funnier and way better if it would just wasn't spoiled to the audience. The mommy is creepy as fuck. She has six titties. I think this is like the third time VHS has done something with a woman with six tits, so shout out them and whoever fucking loves that gimmick. But yeah, Coochie Coochie Coo is a pretty solid segment. It's probably my second least favorite segment, but I still think it's good. Like it's not horrible. It's not amazing. It's just good. And then we go back to the interlude, of course, and then we go to the next segment, which is Ut Supra Sic Infra. And I thought that segment was good as well. I don't think it was anything special. I think that segment, if it was a movie, which this VHS movie really felt like maybe Shudder's gonna take one of these segments and turn them into a film, because I think all of these could have been full on movies, but they're not. They're just short segments, of course. But this one specifically, if this was a movie, it probably would have been way better. You get a few cool scenes in this, like the eyeballs getting dragged out of the people's eyes. But other than that, just nothing spectacular. I thought it was just a really cool uh exorcist type segment. I'm just not really a fan of the ghostier segments of VHS, especially like these possessed ones. That's what I meant, possessed. I don't know, just not that special to me. I thought the beginning was really cool, and then switching it from the past and then into the present where he's walking around with the detectives. I thought that was really cool. I just don't think it was that great. I thought the scene where he has all the people fly up to the ceiling and he has a door in the ceiling and is walking on it like it's normal floor, I thought that was really sick. But other than that, this segment is just okay, nothing special, nothing bad. It just really is okay. And then we get to the fucking good parts about this movie. And I don't mean good, I mean fantastic. I think Fun Size, I was watching it and I was like, this might be my favorite VHS segment ever. I couldn't believe it. It's so much fun. It's so campy, goofy, biting into a penis that's candy, or a candy that's actually a penis, is so great. The killer, the giant lollipop dude, and his little brownie buddy are fucking hysterical. I love them. They have this cute personality, and I think they should get a movie. I think they should get a movie. But everything just so fun. The candy enema into the girl and then her head splits open. And I thought a lot of the stuff with this movie, practically wise, was fucking gorgeous. A lot of problems with old VHS movies is I think a lot of the gore just looks bad. I think the gore in this movie looks great. The eyeball segment from the previous one, the Spanish one, uh, Coochie Coochie Coo doesn't really have any, but the practical makeup to make people look chubbier like babies, I thought looked great. And then Fun Size. I mean, the girl getting the candy enema on her face splitting open in half just looked fucking sick. And the guy getting dismembered and you see all the body parts turning into candy. All of it just looks so great. And oh, this was a fun size segment. I thought it was perfect. The only thing I really hated about this segment, and it's probably my least favorite part about the movie, is the acting. Um, really, really bad. Like really, really bad acting. VHS movies, not really known for their incredible acting, but I don't know who the guy was, the actor. I think he plays. Was his name Jake or was the actor's name Jake? Oh, I can't remember. But the guy who sounds like an anime character is just so obnoxious. His voice is so annoying. And then you have the guy calling his girlfriend fiance every 3 seconds. And I don't recall getting an explanation why she doesn't want to be with him. I think it's just she doesn't want to be with him and that's it. But I thought the bit where they're going through the vent, that's actually a conveyor belt, and he's proposing to her, and she goes, "I do not." I thought that was funny. That was good. It was a funny short. And to end it off with another family getting sucked into the candy bowl was golden too. I thought this fun size segment was fucking crazy. I loved it. And then we get to probably the in my opinion, I've watched every single VHS. This is the best VHS segment ever, and this should be a movie. I think if Shudder is brave enough to start taking VHS segments and turn them into movies, even not even long ones, you can just turn them into 70-minute films like Good Boy. You just did Good Boy. That's a Shudder original, I'm pretty sure. You should turn some of these into movies. Utsupra Sick Infra should be a movie. Fun Size should be a movie. That you have a classic killer lined up right there with the Candyman. Um, and then Kid Print, I think, will be recognized as one of the best horror segments this year, period. Obviously, it's Sinners and Weapons, but oh, and Bring Her Back. But I think this segment was insane. I'm a huge fan of like serial killer stuff, and I love Clowfish Killer. I watched earlier this year, and a couple other films. And I've been like on a huge serial killer kick recently. I've been loving them, and to see this, I was like, wow, this was easily the best VHS segment I've ever seen in my life. It's totally fucking creepy. For the next week on Twitter or YouTube or Letterboxd, wherever you're going to see this movie, they're going to be talking about this segment the most and probably only this segment because it is insane how fucking creepy it is. It's a great premise. You have a guy running a electronic shop and he's doing these pictures for lost kids because kids keep going missing, and you're getting a fake out thinking it's him, but then he goes back to the store and you find out it's his coworker doing all this shit, and he's all these fucking VHS tapes of the kids he's been murdering and scraping their faces off and wearing their faces to scare them. Oh my god, everything about this segment is fucking brilliant. If this is not a movie for Shudder, and I think if they do make it a movie, try to get decent actors. I don't think the acting was bad in this segment, but just get actors that are renowned, they have better names, they have a good acting resume, people like them. I think this could be one of the best serial killer films of the decade of the 2020s. I think Kid Print was it a phenomenal segment. I was hoping it was longer. Every time I knew it was gonna end, I was like, "This sucks," because I needed to keep going, and it was amazing. And then for the last segment, Home Haunt, this was great. This was a Halloween segment. This was their ultimate Halloween segment. Obviously, you have Coochie Coochie Coo with the getting lured into a house thinking it's a haunted house, and then the next one being a Halloween party type thing, and then Fun Size, uh, only take one piece of candy, and then Kid Print, people just going missing on Halloween all the time, and then Home Haunt is just like this perfect culmination of just what Halloween is. You have the haunted house, the family that cares too much about Halloween. We have a couple of those in my neighborhood, and I love them. And you have I'm zoning out the great costumes, and you have a lot of like this horror Halloween mythos. You have zombies, you have ghosts, and the ghosts are actually just white blankets, and they're running around and sucking people and spinning their bodies and killing them. It's so fucking great. You have the torture chamber, and man, oh man, this segment shouldn't have ended sooner. Shutter or whatever, whoever worked on this movie, I would have gave you my entire house, my car, my all of my money just to see that last piece of the segment come to life. Me and my friend were talking about this. One of the best parts about recent VHSs, or even VHS in general is that some of the creatures and monsters they make look really good and they're really cool. And you didn't really get one in this movie. You had obviously the candy killer guy, but does that really count? You have the lady with six nipples, but it's just nipples. You have giant baby man, just a giant baby man, but you don't have a monster. You don't have a true monster, and they're escaping the haunted house. And let me get to the the fun part first. And the witch gets the camera and she's killing people. You get a POV of her killing people. That was great. But then you get the haunted house and it's coming to life and you see its hands move. I was freaking out and I was about to jump out of my this chair. I was going to jump and start freaking out that we were going to get this. I love giants. I love giant monsters, Godzilla, all that shit. I love it. I was so ready. I was going to start freaking out. They need to do an extended version. I'll pay you guys. I need to see it. I need to see the giant green monster come to life and trample the town or whatever. Oh, it would have been so great. Oh, oh my god. But yeah, VHS Halloween is easily the best VHS movie I think I've ever seen. I wasn't scared to give this movie an 8. I think it's a very solid 8. If Coochie Coochie Coo and Oot Supra Sick Infra were better, I think this would have been a 9. This is genuinely one of my favorite Halloween movies I think I've ever just Halloween, not horror, just Halloween movies I think I've ever seen in my life. I thought it's so much fun, and you know what, VHS or Shudder or whoever, if you wanted competition with Trick or Treat, I think this is the closest you might ever get. But I don't even think that's a problem. This was genuinely a great time. It's 2 hours, which and it's not a bad 2 hours. I think the only exaggeratedly long part was Coochie Coochie Coo, but other than that, you want more and more of fun size, kid print, home haunt. Even Sick Infra could have been different with a longer pace. This movie is just fantastic. If you haven't seen VHS Halloween and you're watching this review for some reason, I don't know why, you should watch it. This is easily one of my favorite horror movies of the year. I think horror this year alone is at an all-time high. You have Sinners, Weapons, this, Bring Her Back, and off the top of my head, I can't think of the others, but I thought this year for horror has been fucking great. Go watch VHS Halloween. It is my favorite VHS movie ever. I might do a VHS ranking soon before the end of this month. I want to start doing tier list and maybe VHS will be my start of it because I've seen all of them more than once and I had so much fun.